We are back at DC Motorworks, and there is not one, not two, but three Diablo SVs here for some work. But the main order of business today with the 1998 Victoria's Secret Diablo SV is the sticker installation. Now, when the car was originally sold through the Christmas Dreams and Fantasies catalog, the chrome Lamborghini Diablo SV stickers were actually inverted to be VS for Victoria's Secret. Now, there are not many pictures of the car in that period, and we have no pictures of the passenger side. So even though it's relatively easy to recreate the traditional SV stickers, all we know is that they used the same stickers and they kind of just looked at it and moved them around. And so we're gonna try to recreate that with very limited information, and it's not something that I can do, but Tion and Nick from AP3 are here to help me with it. Now, I did talk to Vic Coulian, who set up the deal all back in 1998 between Victoria's Secret and Lamborghini North America, and he did confirm that they started at least with the chrome stickers. So with the SV, you could have gotten the stickers in black, like my orange car has, in silver, like this Monterey Edition has, and there were 3 cars that had chrome SV graphics. And so we've recreated that with the help of some of the connections down at Curated, and now I guess we're gonna try to line them up.
Let's get it.
Thanks for coming. So I had 2 sets made, just not that I ever expect we would mess up, but if I ever tried, I would mess them all up. And so we're trying to recreate this where there aren't a lot of like body lines to go off of or anything like that. And so I don't know. I'm gonna leave it up to you guys to tell me how this
We're going to use a very precise and scientific method to match the exact alignment from the catalog, so you can trust us to have no difference whatsoever.
Indiscernible.
Go ahead and hold that.
There we go. So yeah, there's some pretty meaningful differences between the driver and passenger side, the way they are generally set up.
Yes, with the letters backwards, I'm sure the same logic follows. So, you know what they say, measure twice, cut once. We'll measure twice, stick once.
There we go. Fantastic. Well, I will leave you two very capably to do that, and we'll start to talk a little bit more about what's been going on with the car. The front bumper is off to be repainted. Greg and his team have been doing work for me for years and years, and so they're going to match the pearlescent from the hood and bring that back. You know, we thought at some point the car may have entirely been repainted, but all signs show that the car was always pearlescent white since originally delivered, at least to the US. Now, there's some other fun things that we can do today because we've got 3 Diablo SVs here. And the first thing I want to talk about is the differences between my car and a 1998 Monterey Edition car. So 97, there were Diablo SVs, but only in Europe and the rest of the world. They weren't in the US just yet. But the Monterey Edition was 98 only, and so you can tell the difference initially between a 98 and a 99 Diablo by whether or not they have pop-up headlights. So all 3 of these are pop-up headlight cars, but also the Monterey Editions had the chrome Kinesis wheels as opposed to the black centered OZ wheels that my 97 has. Now, I knew that these had been re-chromed, partially because they're incredibly clean, but also because we were told that by the sellers. And I get to now compare the chrome on mine with the chrome on these, which is presumed to be original. Now, one question that we had was whether or not the insides were supposed to be black. And on this car, they are black. So that is encouraging to see. You can tell that these are a little bit more yellow, but again, that's probably just due to the age and the fact that these were done in the United States, not in Europe at the factory in Italy. And so the idea that they could discolor over time makes a lot of sense. Now, almost all of the Monterey Editions were in pairs, meaning there were 2 of each color. And so there is another car this color, and I believe it is currently in Utah. Now, the Monterey Editions all had body color painted wings. The rest of the 98 SVs had black wings, like I've got on my European SV. But the Victoria's Secret car has a body color painted wing, which I suppose makes it one of one, as Mr. Tamarian told us in a previous video. Now, there's a few other things that we're going to start to work on as the car is still down for some servicing, and most of that is due to the fact that it is leaking oil so profusely, and that is due to a very tiny O-ring that wouldn't cost you 5 cents, but has to be accessed by removing the entire powertrain. And so the engine and transmission have to come out, and that is the next order of business. And so while it is out, we'll do something else that I've wanted to do since I saw the car in pictures, is switch these badges. They were all Diablo on the left, SV on the right. My car here, the orange car, just has SV on the right, no Diablo badge, but supposedly they just had some extra ones, and so they put them here. They're switched on the Victoria's Secret car, so as we've got that grill out, we will put them back. We'll also be reinstalling the rear bumper. There's plenty of people that say they look better with the bumpers off, like an SVR, but I think it needs the rear bumper. It certainly needs the rear bumper with the exhaust as it is, because a lot of comments said, why does the exhaust look so stupid sticking out with such a gap? The gap is so that the rear bumper will fit. Time to split them.
So they're supposed to be VS, or are you trying to go back to saying SV?
No, we're going VS.
Okay, that's the problem.
Why is that?
Because all of these are SV.
Well, yeah, we got to cut them in half and switch them.
Oh, okay. Oh.
So yeah, you're gonna cut right there.
Well, great.
Switch.
My heart rate can come down. I don't know. I don't know what that's gonna look like. You know.
Weird is what it's gonna look like,
Okay.
but correct.
Sure.
Weird but correct is what we are going for. Now I decided to enlist the power of the internet via Instagram to tell me who all these models were, because the coolest comments were, and I have to agree with them entirely, that what we need to do next, or at least eventually, is have a reunion of these 1998 Victoria's Secret Angels that were modeling alongside the car in the catalog. And so I asked people who they were, because I didn't recognize any of them other than Tyra Banks, and they are, from left to right, Stephanie Seymour, Daniela Pestova, Leticia Casta, Karen Mulder, Ines Rivero, and Tyra Banks. And so I guess at some point, maybe at the Victoria's Secret Fashion Show in the fall or something like that, we'll have to see if they can all come out and have them, I don't know, autograph the dash or autograph the wing or recreate the photo, because a lot of them, it seemed, as I saw their accounts tagged, are still modeling. They still got it. Now, in talking to Vic Cooley, I asked him, were the headrests actually redone to say VS? Because the catalog here says that they were, and he said yes, he had them redone. I said, well, since then, someone has put it back to just a normal SV spec, and I suppose that makes sense. The car would have lived its life through many, many other owners, just as like a normal Diablo SV, and they wouldn't have wanted to celebrate this moment in its history. But I want to put it back, and so he told me that he could actually tell me the same vendor to take the headrest leather off, have it redone as VS, and do that. Now, the other thing that is itemized here is that the car was supposed to come with some luggage, and that certainly has been lost or sold on eBay, or maybe it fell out in the crash or whatever happened, but I don't have the VS luggage, and I couldn't start with SV luggage because I've got to switch the little insignia there. But I found a Facebook Marketplace seller that was a nice Indonesian man who owned a Lamborghini store in the 90s. Now in the 90s, the Indonesians owned Lamborghini between Chrysler and Audi, and he had a bunch of luggage. And so I was able to buy all of it. And it was not all that expensive. I've got a hang-up bag here. I've got these, which I don't know what they hold, but it would be long and square. And some of them have the beautiful Billy Lamborghini. They don't smell great, but they, we've got some bags and we have the luggage. And so the idea would be that below Automobili Lamborghini here, there would have been an SV. We're going to put a VS somehow, possibly. I don't know that it's the exact same color, but we're going to say close enough for a branded title card. Oh, got this. I guess that's to hang ties or socks or something like that. We've got another, oh, very clean and velvety Automobili Lamborghini bag. Yeah. And he had this, which was just super duper cool. Brand new owner's manual pouch. I actually got an owner's manual with this car, but I did not get a lovely leather pouch for it. Now we have that. So once the front bumper is back on, we can put back in the trunk lining. And I mean, the car is really coming together quite nicely, which I never expected. I thought we would be here far longer. And if it weren't for that O-ring failure, honestly, I think we would be out of here by now. But that'll give us the opportunity to really go through the car, service everything a little bit more. The problem with it is, this tiny little O-ring is going to force me to experience the biggest fear of every exotic car owner ever. It is the, well, while you are in there list. And whenever you pull the motor on a car of this magnitude, you are faced with many, many while we're in here, we better do all this and this and this, and that's where your bill really starts to swell. So that is my biggest concern in the next chapter of this car's existence, but I guess we'll just do what we can. Fortunately, we did find a relatively inexpensive clutch kit. The car doesn't need a clutch, but it's kind of stupid not to when you've got it out that far. So I don't know, I guess we'll see and do whatever we can. Yeah, I think that's the best thing we've got. What?
This is great.
Yeah?
We're going to be able to nail it with this reference, yeah.
And we're going to shout out HB Designs for this. But if you look at, so you've got this,
Yes.
one. So that, there's wide V and little v.
Mm-hmm.
And so it looks like wide V is on the passenger side. Well, no. That is, in that rendering it is, but there's two ways to do it. And I think when we line it up, I think we have wide V on that side.
Okay.
Because, I mean, that would fit, but I don't think that looks as much like this picture. See, I think that looks like wide V.
I think that looks like narrow V. Because wide V really stretches.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it starts in the quarter and it goes halfway, you know.
And normally wide V is driver.
Right.
So this would imply that they switched them. Well, I say we stick them with masking tape and then look and decide how we feel.
Yes. Like I said, measure twice, stick once. So.
And we got enough to stick twice. All right.
Pretty much have it, if not lower it a smidgen.
Like in my brain, that's where I would think about putting it. The other thing that you'd think about doing is putting the flat area of the V on the body line here, which is extended from there, like right there, which I think we're right there. Like that, again, if I were looking for things to grab, I would think about.
Yeah, you don't want this sagging beneath that body line.
Because it would then bow.
Yeah. We're getting closer than on the picture to get the
V.
intersectional closer to the body of the V.
Another fun opportunity of having three of these things in the same place is that we can compare a European car to the two US cars. Now, in some exotic cars where there are differentiating factors between a Euro car and a US car, or a US car and a rest of world car, there's a desirability difference, and the market hasn't really figured out whether or not they would prefer the European cars or prefer the US cars. With like F50s and F40s, like US cars are super valuable relative to European cars, and some of the rationale are well-founded and some simply aren't. But I'm going to walk you through the differences and you can decide which one sounds better. So on the Euro car, one of the things that you'll notice externally is they use a motorcycle filler cap for the gas door. On the US cars, there is actually a body-colored flap that pops open. Also, on the US cars versus the Euro cars, the side markers are totally different. You've got the wide rectangular ones versus just the stuck-on, probably took 3 seconds to accomplish. Once again, we talked about the wing differences and the badge differences, but you've also got some interior differences that are really, really meaningful. Particularly on the early cars like the 97s, these are totally non-airbag cars, which for a lot of people that deal with aging supercars or really aging 80s, 90s cars, airbags are a pain because they throw airbag lights, which we've still got to clear on the white car, but we think it's probably all wired correctly now. I guess we'll find out in a few days. But no airbags is very nice from not having an error and not having to worry about the total afterthought passenger airbags destroying your femurs if they were to go off, which is a real risk. The European cars also have a totally fixed suspension, no adjustment in the dampening. The US cars have the button that frequently shows an error, which magically on mine doesn't show an error, but generally that's flashing at you all the time. And so having a fixed suspension car from a reliability perspective is beneficial. So even though we've proven that the car can run and drive, it is leaking a very significant amount of oil. And so that means that Cameron and the DC Motorworks team are going to have to remove the engine. Now, I won't cover that on a video on VinWiki or on my personal channel, but be sure that you are subscribed to the DC Motorworks channel to see that entire process happen. So what will actually happen to get to that?
These are your $50,000 O-rings here,
sure
Mr.
hope
Bolian.
not.
So this is the O-ring we talked about on the last video. So this is from a Mercy motor, so as you'll be familiar with, but it sits under the cylinder head, and it's just an O-ring for like I said, oil pressure port.
And it looks like a head gasket leak in terms of the way that it
Right,
comes out.
because it does sit on the head gasket, like it sits in this area.
Got it.
So.
Okay. And so how long will that take you?
Well, parts are coming from Italy, so we know how fun that is. That's at least 2-3 weeks. And then, you know, a couple days to pull the motor, and then we got to disassemble it to this degree, so that's about a day. And you see where I'm going with this, right?
I mean, you don't have to take the cams out and stuff.
Yeah, that's all got to come out. Yeah, so every bit of it.
So, all right, while we're in there, how much stuff are we also going to have to do? Just because it'd be dumb not to.
You know how the while we in there is
Well,
go.
I know, but like, I also, the car drives perfectly apart from that one little thing.
Yes, one little 10-cent O-ring. Yep, it's a story we're used to here. But I mean, we can do a clutch. You know, of course, we're doing head gaskets. Upper oil pans are a thing on Diablo, so that'll be while you're in there. You know, just all the normal.
Goodness gracious. Okay, well, I'm sure that'll be quite a video for your channel, and hopefully there's a lot of ad
There'll be a
dollars
couple
to
videos.
support my. Okay, oh my goodness. All right, well, be sure to subscribe, and thank you as
Thank you.
always. It's a lot more expensive than my wife's engagement ring.
Yeah, is it?
Oh man, look at that chrome! Look
Oh,
at that
wow,
chrome!
That is spicy.
Take a few steps back as you're pulling it off.
Oh my goodness! Look at that!
We got all the different color stickers.
Oh, I love it so much. Man, that is something.
That is something.
That is so redwood it hurts.
Is it gonna go to Amelia next year?
I think it's going to go to Radwood Monterey and win me a trophy. Possibly. So Tion and Nick from AP3 did a beautiful job recreating the VS, the Victoria's Secret livery for the Diablo SV. And I've seen a lot of the comments saying that you're not really a chrome wheel guy or a chrome guy in general, but this car is really coming together. I have to agree. I think once we get the bumpers back on this car, get it out in the sun, it is going to be gleaming spectacularly, and I cannot wait. So be sure to tune in to Cameron's video about pulling the motor and fixing the oil leaks soon, and we are going to continue moving the ball down the field with the Victoria's Secret Diablo SV. Now this was also the perfect time to start coating the car with Armor Shield 9 AS9 from Avalon King. Avalon King is back as a sponsor of VinWiki, and I love how easy their ceramic coating is to use. AS9 is truly a DIY application, even for an idiot like me that has no familiarity or really ability to properly detail a car. Now, a few days prior, I had Bam Cunningham and his team come in and decontaminate and kind of correct the paint on the car so that we would be ready to go to do this. But honestly, it's not that hard. Now, a black car, like we did with my Porsche 993, and I made the video with Sonny the Lamboa talking about whether or not ceramic coatings were snake oil so many years ago, that is proper hard. And so I did have more help on the prep process, but it was something that I can put on. You just take out the little bitty bottle, which goes a long way, put it on their applicator, and take it on a basket weave kind of process, so going back and forth on each panel, and then you remove it. Now, they also included their IPA prep spray that makes it so much easier to prep the surface and lay the coating down. It also makes it easier as you're removing it to spray some on and use that on a towel to make it nice and smooth and avoid high spots. And especially on this car, since most of the photography of it was so sort of overexposed to make it so bright white, to avoid it looking too creamy in real life, the ceramic coating and the shininess that comes from it helps a lot in real life. And so I cannot wait to get this thing fully coated, back out there on the road, and putting a whole lot more fun miles on the Victoria's Secret Diablo. Now, Avalon King has a special discount available just to our viewers on Armor Shield 9 that is available at the link in the description below. So check them out now to make your car look wonderful, and thank them for their support of VinWiki.